Mike Connors tortured himself until he died for imposing a habit that made his son schizophrenia. Mike Connor was born Krikor Ahanian Jr. on August 15, 1925, in Fresno, California, was a celebrated American actor best known for his portrayal of private detective Joe Mannix on the long-running TV series Mannix. His Armenian heritage, name, and early life played a significant role in shaping his journey to stardom. Raised by Armenian immigrant parents, Connors grew up in a household steeped in cultural traditions, which instilled in him a deep sense of family and community. This cultural foundation, paired with his strong work ethic, would later serve him well in the competitive world of Hollywood. Connors' childhood was marked by the values of perseverance and ambition, which his parents encouraged. After graduating from high school, he enlisted in the U.S. Army Air Corps during World War II, where he served as an enlisted airman. This experience shaped his sense of duty and discipline, which would become evident in his approach to acting. Upon returning from military service, Connors attended the University of California, Los Angeles, on a basketball scholarship. Standing at 6 feet 1 inch, his athleticism was evident, but his love for acting soon surpassed his interest in sports. While pursuing a law degree, Connors developed an interest in acting after being encouraged by director William Wellman, whom he met while playing basketball for University of California, Los Angeles. Wellman, impressed by Connors' charisma and looks, suggested that he try acting. This marked a pivotal moment in Connors' life, as he shifted his career path and started taking drama classes. His decision to pursue acting proved to be fruitful, though the journey to becoming a Hollywood star was neither quick nor easy. Connors' acting career began with minor roles in films during the 1950s. He initially appeared in a number of low-budget films and westerns, often under the stage name Touch Connors, a nickname he had earned on the basketball court. His early work included roles in films such as Island in the Sky, 1953, and Sudden Fear, 1952, where he started building a reputation as a rugged, dependable actor. Despite the relatively small roles, Connors' talent was apparent, and he quickly gained the attention of producers and directors in the industry. During the late 1950s, Connors appeared in a string of television shows, which helped him hone his craft. He made guest appearances on popular series such as Perry Mason and Have Gun, Will Travel. His growing body of work showcased his versatility and laid the groundwork for his eventual rise to stardom. Connors continued to work steadily throughout the early 1960s, making appearances in both film and television, though he had yet to land a role that would solidify him as a household name. Connors' big break came in 1967 when he was cast as the title character in the detective series Mannix. The show, produced by Desilu Productions and later Paramount Television, was a groundbreaking series that ran for 8 seasons until 1975. Connors played Joe Mannix, a tough, hard-boiled private investigator who navigated the complexities of crime and justice while maintaining a human, relatable persona. The show's appeal stemmed from its mix of thrilling action sequences, intricate plotlines, and Connors' magnetic screen presence. Mannix was notable for its innovative use of stunts, car chases, and action scenes, which set it apart from other detective shows of the era. Connors performed many of his stunts, adding authenticity to the role, which resonated with audiences. His portrayal of Mannix as a gritty but compassionate detective earned him critical acclaim and cemented his status as one of television's top actors. Connors won a Golden Globe Award in 1970 for his performance, and he was nominated for multiple Emmy Awards throughout the show's run. Mannix also broke ground in its portrayal of race relations, with the character Peggy Fair, played by Gail Fisher, as one of the first African American women to have a regular, prominent role on a TV series. After Mannix ended in 1975, Connors continued to act in television and film, though none of his subsequent roles matched the success he had found with Mannix. He appeared in shows such as Love Boat, Walker, Texas Ranger, and Murder, She Wrote, as well as made-for-TV movies like The Killer Who Wouldn't Die and Too Scared to Scream. Connors remained a beloved figure in Hollywood, known for his professionalism, kindness, and enduring appeal to fans of all ages. Though he never achieved the same level of fame after Mannix, Connors was always grateful for the opportunities that the role provided him, and he spoke fondly of the character and the show in interviews. Mike Connor's life was marked by his dedication to both his family and his career, but beneath his success as an actor, he was tormented by guilt over the mental illness that affected his son. Connors, born Krikor Ahanian, grew up with a strong Armenian heritage, something he carried into his adult life. He married Mary Lou Willie in 1949 while they were both students at University of California, Los Angeles. It was a loving and lasting union, as they remained married for nearly 70 years. The couple had 2 children, a son, Matthew Gunnar Ahanian, and a daughter, Dana Lee Connors. However, their family faced a devastating challenge when Matthew was diagnosed with schizophrenia at the young age of 15. This diagnosis would haunt Connors for the rest of his life. From an early age, Mike Connors was determined to give his son the best possible life. As a man who was disciplined in his work and life, Connors believed in setting high standards, both for himself and for his children. He imposed a strict upbringing on Matthew, hoping that discipline and a structured environment would shape his son into the best version of himself. However, what Connors did not anticipate was the toll that this pressure, combined with the onset of schizophrenia, would take on Matthew. Connors, in retrospect, often wondered if his demanding nature had worsened his son's condition or if he could have done something differently to ease Matthew's burden. The actor tortured himself with these thoughts throughout his life, unable to shake the guilt that perhaps his high expectations had contributed to his son's suffering. Matthew's schizophrenia had a profound impact on the Connors family. As Matthew's condition deteriorated, Connors struggled with feelings of helplessness, watching the promising life he had envisioned for his son slip away. Schizophrenia is a complex mental illness that affects thought processes, making it difficult for individuals to distinguish reality from hallucinations or delusions. For a father like Connors, who valued logic, discipline, and control, witnessing his son grapple with a disorder that defied those values must have been excruciating. Connors found himself facing an enemy he couldn't fight or control, and this helplessness gnawed at him over the years. Despite his personal anguish, Mike Connors took steps to turn his pain into advocacy. Following his son's diagnosis, he became deeply involved in charitable organizations dedicated to mental health awareness and support for families affected by mental disorders. He worked closely with the National Alliance on Mental Illness, NAMI, using his platform to raise awareness about schizophrenia and other mental health conditions. Connors wanted to ensure that other families wouldn't feel as isolated as he did, facing the stigma and misunderstanding surrounding mental illness. His work earned him recognition in the mental health community, and in 1998, the UC Irvine College of Medicine's Brain Imaging Center Committee honored him with the Silver Ribbon Award for his contributions. Even though he worked tirelessly to support mental health causes, Connors could never fully escape the shadow of his son's illness. The situation worsened when Matthew predeceased his father, dying of heart failure in 2007. The death of a child is one of the most painful experiences a parent can endure, but for Connors, it was even more agonizing. He had long felt guilty for how he had handled his son's condition, and now, with Matthew gone, there was no chance for redemption or closure. His grief was compounded by years of self-recrimination and the haunting question of whether his strictness had contributed to Matthew's struggles. As Connors grew older, the weight of his son's illness and death continued to press on him. He found solace in his daughter Dana and his granddaughter, but Matthew's absence was a constant void. Connors had always taken pride in being a dedicated father, and though his daughter flourished, he never stopped grieving the son he lost. Connors' sense of guilt was not just tied to his son's mental illness, but to the perception that as a father, he had somehow failed to protect his child from the ravages of schizophrenia. This self-imposed burden followed him throughout his life, leaving him in a state of quiet torment until his own death in 2017. Adding to Connors' internal struggle was his strong Armenian background, which placed high value on family and community. Being fluent in Armenian, English, and French, Connors remained connected to his heritage and culture, which shaped his identity. He was even related to French-Armenian singer Charles Aznavour, who was internationally renowned. Yet, despite these proud connections, the overwhelming sorrow caused by Matthew's illness overshadowed much of Connors' personal pride. He couldn't shake the feeling that in trying to uphold the cultural values of strength and resilience, he might have contributed to the pressures that weighed on his son. In the end, Mike Connor's legacy is one of professional success, personal sacrifice, and quiet suffering. He spent much of his life in pain, feeling guilty for the struggles that his son endured. Even with his efforts to bring attention to mental health causes, the actor could never find peace within himself. His story is a reminder that behind the glitz of Hollywood and the accolades of a successful career, there are often deep, personal battles that shape and define an individual's life. For Connors, his battle was with the guilt he felt over his son's schizophrenia, a battle that ultimately haunted him until the end. Connors died in Tarzana, California, at the age of 91 on January 26, 2017, a week after being diagnosed with leukemia.